All right, peep this. I have a very good theory about Davy D Jones. Actually, it's not my theory. It's my friend's theory named Pete. Pete, people know him on my Twitch streams. He's Speed Force, where he's a whole time friend of mine. I know him personally. One of my best friends, honestly. And Pete has a very good theory about Davy Jones. It's actually twofold. The second part I like a lot. The first part I think is very possible too, because it's something Oda's done before in the series with Gold D. Roger. So he has a theory, number one, the first part of the theory, is that Davy D. Jones, his name isn't actually Davy D. Jones, it's David Jones. But people made a mistake back then, centuries ago, and his name became Davy D. Jones. It's actually the reverse of Gold D. Roger, where his actual name is Gold D. Roger, but in an attempt to have the D clan name from too much influence in the world, they took the D and combined it with the Gold to make it Gold Roger. Now that may sound crazy, but consider the fact that in today's day and age of One Piece, the D clan has spread throughout the entire world, where so many D clan members exist, even in the military, with guys like Monkey D. Garp. But way back when the D clan first started, well, how did it first start? Joy Boy, we know him as such, but where does the D clan come from if Joy Boy has no D at all in his name? How did the D initial in all these people's names just all of a sudden manifest? Where did the D come from? I'm gonna say D a lot, so heads up, no Diddy. No Diddy. That being said, where did the D come from if Joy Boy, who is the first pirate in the history of the world, has no D at all in his name? Now, maybe there's a real name for Joy Boy that involves the D clan, fair enough, fine. But since Davy D. Jones exists, and Davy D. Jones is someone on such a prominent scale, and potentially on a global scale, king of the world scale, you could argue that it makes more sense if the D clan actually stems from Davy D. Jones rather than, let's say, Joy Boy. Since he was king of the world, then there's a better chance for that D clan surname to spread throughout the entire world as the first king of the world, according to what Rock says about Davy D. Jones. And the idea of the D clan could have been all an accident, because this happens in One Piece, where sometimes the most monumental things in the story happen via accidents. They happen via whims or luck or sheer chance. And then the same way where Gold and D make the Gold name is very convenient, you can remove the D at the end of David and instead replace the I with the Y. You have Davy D. Jones. It could have been something that someone thought up. It could have been an accident. Let's say someone had wrote his name the wrong way, and then they put Davy D. Jones instead of David Jones. So like in the same vein as Buggy's crew, where they put Buggy's picture as like the headline picture for the Cross Guild rather than Mihawk or Crocodile. So by whim, by luck, by chance, Buggy becomes Emperor of the Sea. These things have happened and can happen in the story of One Piece even centuries ago. So that's the first thing there. The origins of D may not necessarily be from Joy Boy, but from David Jones, where he was David Jones at first, but then again you replace the I for a Y and then you move over the D, Davy D. Jones. That's number one. Number two is hiding in plain sight. There's a good chance that Emu is what it is, a shadow entity. For the first time when we saw Emu, Oda didn't hide Emu's form from us. It was what we saw what it was, a shadow mass monster of some kind that proclaimed itself to be the king of the world. And in the same vein, the former king of the world, if the D clan does stem from him, then maybe the D is him. In plain sight, the D is Davy. So when we say Jaguar D Saul, it's actually Jaguar Davy Saul. When we say Monkey D Luffy, it's actually Monkey Davy Luffy. When we say Portagas D Rouge, it's actually Portagas Davy Rouge. When we say Monkey D Garp or Monkey D Dragon, it's Monkey Davy Garp or Monkey Davy Dragon. Trafalgar D Water Law, Trafalgar Davy Water Law. And that would mean when it comes to Davy D. Jones itself, it wouldn't be Davy D. Jones, it'd be Davy Jones. That's right, Davy Jones. I'll read my boy's text bar for bar. My theory is that the D clans are like Davy Jones's Holy Knight equivalent, his crew, quote unquote. So each family is descended from one of them. And then the Davy clan itself is from Jones. So Davy clan, Rocks and Eris and Blackbeard, are from Jones's own lineage, but the D clan are Davy D Jones's crew members that have taken the D initial and have propagated that throughout the entire world. And I continue. I do think it's possible D means dawn or dreams, but I can see a case where D means Davy before the other clans, maybe a different thing for the Davy line. So the Davy line's D initial could mean something different than, let's say, the Jaguar clan or the Gold clan or the Portagas clan or the Monkey clan. The D may mean something different to them, but it means something else to the Davies specifically. I think that in some way it is indeed the will of Davy. It makes too much narrative sense, and the only counter anyone has to it is Davy sounds dumb, or Monkey Davy Luffy sounds stupid, which is true. In terms of a counter to this, what else could you really say other than, well, I believe it's actually dawn or dreams or destinies, something of that sort. Some folks would say maybe demon, or let's say it could be signifying the moon, but a half moon, some of that sort. But no one knows except for Oda himself and those close to him what the D clan really is. Then I respond to him kind of co-sign the idea because I do like it a lot. And then he says this, yeah, I mean, the alternative is they're all related by blood, which could be true, but seems boring. The whole point is about inheriting the will and not needing blood, which is correct. Luffy inherited the will of Ace, even though Luffy and Ace are not related by blood. And that spans for a cornucopia of characters across the entire series of One Piece. I continue, which is why I disagree with everyone who thinks Blackbeard is going to be redeemed. I think the point of him is to be a tragic character, which I also agree with. There's an idea that I've heard Randy Troy say on his channel, shots to him of course, that there has to be someone that needs to drown in the story. We haven't seen someone of any great importance really die via drowning. And I think someone that'd be fitting for that death would be someone like Blackbeard. He would die via drowning. He would die in the very darkness that he became, which of course is in lockstep with the ideas of Davy Jones's locker. So I think having his allies carry on the will of D, and that continues down their bloodline, makes more narrative sense. Plus, it plays with the idea of your crew and everyone else sharing dreams. This, I think, is great too, because consider the Straw Hat crew themselves, where there's that line when Mihawk talks to Zoro in that Muggy Island before the time skip. And there's that one time where Mihawk laughs because Zoro wants to be trained by Mihawk, but it's because Zoro found something greater than his own dream, because now they share the same dream as Monkey D. Luffy. The entire crew has their own dreams, but the greater dream of all of them is Luffy's dream. It's in the same vein as many prominent crews, and you would assume it only applies to even someone like Davy D. Jones way back when. Davy Jones. And then with the idea of the repeated names, it does exist in a story in spades, whether it be Devil Fruits themselves or someone like Tony Chopper. We forget because Chopper's the merch master, and it's not in the story for the post-time skip hasn't been that great compared to the pre-time skip, but his name is Tony Chopper in full. And consider the fact that recent as the latest SBS 113, Oda revealed the family name of Roswald. It's Roswald. He makes fun of their family for being so dumb and so foolish to repeat the name Roswald for someone like Roswald himself, the father of Charlos, which you argue the reason why they were so dumb on a darker note is the product of incest. That's possible. But the fact of the matter is that this does exist. Roswald is a real name. Tony is a real name. If these are real names and the fruits themselves also have repeated names, who is to say that Davy can't be a thing? It's not impossible, and it's not too out of the ordinary because Oda has, again, done it in the story. So I do love this theory for sure. That's why I had to do the video. But let me know your stance on the subject matter at hand. If you enjoy the video topic, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and click on that bell to join the notification squad. I'm gonna catch you guys and gals on the flip side.
See you. Bye-bye.